to solve some basic problems using JavaScript. So let's get started. So the first question is given a number n in base 10. Write a program to convert it into its binary form. So you people must be aware about how we can convert a decimal number into binary form. Correct? If you are not aware, what I will be
रोल
doing,
है
I'll be
समझ नहीं आता
taking
है
some of the examples and then we will be looking into the program for the same. Okay? So I'll be opening the Scribble.
स्वामी इसको पढ़ना होता है ये वाला को हम पढ़ना दे चलो
So it is to convert a decimal into
मैं खोलो तुम्हारे नहीं पिंधा इधर चलो डालो
binary form. So how we do
जो
that?
खास नहीं
So
रहा
let us
सब
say
सब
we have
सब
some number.
बहुत
Let us
सब
say we
खोले
have something like 7, a small number. All right. How we can form a binary for the same? So it is going to be, let us say we have 7 here. Like every people is having their different ways of writing it down. This is how I am representing. So we are going
सब
to
करेक्ट
check
पढ़
it
लो
against 2. So
कर दो
when we have to divide this
पिंधा
number
वाला
7 by 2, what is the remainder which we are going to get, and on which, like if we have to divide, so which is the number which can
चलो डालो
closely divide it. So if we will see, 2 into 3 is 6. So we can
चलो
actually say that if we are dividing it by 2, this is going to be the quotient, and what is the remainder? 1. Now what we have to do? Now we have to divide this number 3 by 2. So if we are dividing 3 by 2, what is the quotient which we are going to get? 1. And what is the remainder which we are going to get? 1. So now if you have to see,
कुछ
we have only 1 left. So in the bottom, if you are having either 0 or 1, in such a case, we will say, okay, this is the time when we have to stop doing. Also, when we talk about binary representation, so you must be knowing that binary representation is going to be all about zeros and ones. So it is
छूट भी
going to
कम
have
होती है
either zeros or ones. All right. So here, if we'll have to convert 7 into binary, how we will be doing? We are going to see it in this direction. All right. So firstly, we got 1, then we got another 1, then we got another 1. Luckily, with this number, all were 1s. So we can say this is how we got the binary representation for 7. Let us consider a bigger example. Let us say we have 17.
एक साल हुआ है एक साल 2-3 महीना
So when we have to divide 17 by 2, what is the quotient which we are going to get? 8, right? And what is the remainder which we will be getting? 1. Then we have to divide 8 by 2. So when we are going to divide, you know the quotient is going to be 4 and the remainder is going to be 0. Then again, if we have to divide it, what is the thing which we are going to get? You are going to get 2 as the quotient and 0 as the remainder. Again, when we are going to divide it, so we will get 1 as the quotient and 0 as the remainder. What I said, if we have to tell the binary, you have to go it in this direction from bottom to up and including this one. Okay. So we will be getting 1, 0, 0, 1. So this is for the corresponding number 17. If you will come back here, you can see for 17, this is how they are coming up with the binary representation. So, if we'll have to write down program for the same, so what we can do, if we'll have to write down a corresponding code for the same, what we can do, we can actually take up some binary representation, and at every step, what we will be doing, so like let us say we are having some number. All right. So for this particular number, what we will do, we are going to run a while loop unless this number is not becoming equal to 0. So here, what we will be doing inside it, at every iteration, we are going to find out a remainder. And you know how we can find out
पानी
remainder
दे
for
तो
this number? Just use modulus operator. So what does this modulus operator do? If you have x and y with the modulus operator, so whatever remainder you are going to get when your y is dividing x, this is what it is going to return, correct? So it is nothing but this, and let us say we are getting some remainder out of it, so it is going to be equal to that remainder. That is how we are using remainder here. So this one is going to divide the number by 2, and whatever remainder we are going to get, that one it is going to assign here. And after that, what we have to do? Nothing but we just have to write down, like what I will be doing in every step I will be writing down. So here how I'm actually writing down the steps. So here also, if you have seen, at every step I am doing nothing but dividing the number by 2 and checking its remainder. So here also, in this, what is the next thing which I will be doing? I will be dividing the number by 2 and writing down its step. Alright, so this is what basically we have to do inside our while loop. Also, like, this is not the only thing which we will be doing here. We are going to do some other stuff as well, and I will be showing you the dry run as well for the same. Okay, so you know when we have to divide any number. So in this case, like, let us say we have a number 5. If you are dividing it by 2, so you know, if you are doing any division in the like normal, using calculator, paper or pen or anything, so what you will be getting 2.5, correct? But in this particular case, if you are dividing this number by 2, what you will be getting? You are going to get its upper value. What is the upper value? So when we have any decimal number like 2.5, so for this one, we have two values. 2 is going to be the upper value, lower value, and 3 is going to be the upper value. Means we have two things, right? We have floor and seal. So these are the two numbers which are getting represented by that. In this case, you know what is the quotient which is going to be? That is actually going to be 2. You can pick any number. Like, let us say we have nothing but 19. So if we are dividing it by this, what we will be getting? We are going to get some 9.5. But what is the quotient which is going to be? That is 9. So in order to get only the quotient, what we will be doing when we are doing the division, at that time, we will be taking its percent value. So what the percent value is going to do? So if you are passing 9.5, it is going to return you 9. So what basically it does, if you are providing any floating value, means any decimal value, it is going to convert it to an integer. So that is what this percent is going to do in this case. Also, we have to build our number. We have to build our binary number. So what we will be doing for that binary number at every step. So you are going to take one variable, let us say we have binary, and you know, in every iteration what we will be doing to this binary, we are going to add the remainder multiplied by I. And what is this I? We are going to have an iteration, right? So this is nothing but one iterator inside that. Okay, so this is nothing but your iterator. So if you're going to use this formula there, with the help of this, you are actually going to build up its binary. This is nothing but, like, you know, if you remember, if we had a number, if you have to convert it to its what to say, reverse, so that there also you were actually using some similar formula, right? So this is nothing but such a formula. And if you're getting confused or anything, firstly I will show you the output from the code, and then I will do the dry run in order to show you that this is how we are actually building our output. Okay, so let's actually get started. So in this, you know what and all things we are going to do. So first of all, we are going to, like, two things we are actually interested in this question. First one is the remainder, another one is the quotient, and then with the help of this, how you are going to create your binary number. All right, so let's get started. All right, so here what we will be doing, let us say my function name is convert to binary. All right, so here what and all we are going to pass. In this one, you just have to pass your number, whatever number you want to convert, and this is going to be the decimal convert this decimal number to binary. Okay. Now what we will be doing in this, I am using arrow function to create my function. Alright. You can use even the ordinary one, whatever you are comfortable with, but this is according to the latest JavaScript. Alright. Inside this, I will be taking one variable. This is going to be for the binary number. And initially I'm going to assign it to 0 because any number added to 0 is not going to get changed. Also, I actually showed you how I'm going to generate my binary number. So it is going to be binary plus you take the previous number which you got and then you add the remainder multiplied with the iterator, correct? So if you have to add the previous binary, so it's always a good approach to start it with 0. Now what I will be doing, I will be taking one variable as remainder and I will be taking iterator I, which is going to start from 1, and then I'm going to take step. Where I'm going to use this step, at every step I will be actually showing you how it is going to work. So this is actually not required in the question. This one I am using it for my purpose. Up to you if you want to use this variable or not. If you really want to include it, you can. Otherwise, you can skip it, even though it is going to work in the same form. Now what I said, we are going to have one loop. So here I'm going to use one while loop, and in this while loop I'm going to run it unless your number is not becoming equal to 0. And when it is going to become 0, when if you realize when I was actually explaining it to you at the bottom, you will actually get quotient as 0, correct? So if you remember last step I skipped. When the remainder was 1, I was skipping it there only. But if you realize that is nothing, but even if you will do it at that, for one more step, the quotient is going to come as 0, correct? So you have to do it unless it is becoming equal to 0. And inside this, what is the one thing which you will be doing? You have to calculate your remainder. So how you will be getting your remainder? That is going to be nothing but whatever number you have and apply modulus operator. So this is nothing but 2 divide, like first you have to divide this number by 2 and whatever remainder you are going to get, that one is going to get assigned to this variable remainder, anything, whatever you want to name it. All right. After this, what I will do, I'm just going to have one console statement, and this console statement is going to print out a message. And how I'm going to print it out? Like I said, this step I'm going to use it here. So firstly, I'm going to use this step that here I will use step. So firstly, I will write step. It is going to actually say, okay, in step 1, what we are going to do. So in step 1, what we are going to do, we are going to take that value, whatever your number value is there, and you have to divide it by 2. So I'm actually going to represent it into the same form. So this number divide by 2. So if you are dividing it by 2, what is the remainder which you are getting? That one where you have stored in the rem variable, right? So you can pick it from there. So this one is actually going to show you how the number is actually forming in every steps, and later on I will be printing the corresponding binary number as well. All right. So here we are just going to use remainder. And what is the quotient which we are going to get here? How you will be getting that? Whatever number you have, just divide it by 2. So if you are going to divide it by 2, you are going to get the quotient as well. And let's take one variable for quotient. So let us say we have quotient only. And here what we will be doing, that one is going to be nothing but dividing number by 2. I told you if you are just going to use it this way, it is not going to work correctly. If you want to make it work correctly, what you will have to do, just use %. There. By using %, you can actually convert it to the corresponding integer value. Alright, so this is how you are going to get your quotient. And here, and the way I'm displaying the remainder, similar way I will be displaying the quotient as well. Alright, so this is how what we are doing in a step. I am printing a step. I am printing if we are dividing a number by 2, what is the remainder which I am getting and what is the quotient which I am getting. Correct? So this is what we have to do here. After that, what we will be doing, we have to update our number as well, right? So what we will do, since we have already calculated our quotient, so this number is actually going to get updated to quotient. And why we are doing it this way? That is because this one is actually storing the value which you will get when you are going to divide it by 2. And since this is one loop, so we will have to actually update our values like that. All right. So now what we are going to do after updating it, this step also needs to get updated, right? Because in the next iteration, you really want to see step 2. This one is currently going to print 1. After doing this increment in the next iteration, this one is going to print step plus plus. That is 2. Correct? After that, what we are going to do, we have to, like if you remember, we actually discussed about generating the binary number. So this is how you are going to generate your binary number. Also, one thing which you will have to keep in your mind, this iterator also needs to get updated. So how it is going to get updated? Exactly the similar way how we were finding out a corresponding reverse of a number. So in this one as well, we were multiplying it by 10, right? So here also you have to multiply it by 10. So it is up to you if you really want to use some iterator or there only you want to multiply. Up to you. Okay. So here what you can do, your binary number is going to be nothing but whatever binary number you had plus you take your remainder, multiply it with I, and like I said, even the iterator needs to be updated. So I is going to be I into 10. Correct? And at the end, what do you have to do? Just display out the corresponding binary number. And how you can actually do, so you can say, you can directly just say binary number all right. Here what I will do, I'm just going to call convert to binary and I'm going to pass on some number, let us say 16. I'm going to pass on another number, let us say 17. Anything you can pass here. Now if we will run, you can see the output for the same. One second, it is just want to check. Okay, this one is not getting called at all. Why is it like that? 1 second. Let's just knock that off. Sometimes these errors I actually encounter. So that is why I'm just trying it out in another window. So let me take everything here and then run. So you can see now it is actually displaying, but here it was not doing. Don't know what the issue is. Now let me put all that here. So you can see something is getting displayed. Let's get rid of it and then I will show you the final output.
काटो वीडियो कॉल के
So you can see in step 1 what we are doing.
Normal
We have
को करो
16. When you are dividing it by 2, what is the remainder which you are getting? 0. What is the quotient which you are getting? 4. And what is the binary number which is forming with that? 0. Then again 0. And this is how you can see how the remainder and quotient are getting updated. Now after reaching to a point, you can see binary number is this. Actually, you know what we have to do? This one we'll have to put it outside only, not inside this loop. So that way it is going to be better. Because that particular one, it has printed for number 17 and that one it has printed for 16 and 17. So now, yeah, this way it is actually more representable that we have taken number 16, then it displayed the corresponding binary number for that, and then we tried it out for number 17. Now, if you are not able to understand what we have done, what I will do, we will quickly do its dry run. Okay. So let's do it here. So what we are doing, we are calling convert to binary for number 16. Alright, so here 16 is going to come first. Then we are having a binary number. I'll take just bin here, okay, for the same. So that is 0. Then we are having one remainder. So that remainder is initially having no value. Then we have another variable quotient. Then we have I. I is taking value fun. And then we have step 1. Okay. Then we are entering inside our while loop. So what this while loop is going to do, this one is going to create the remainder. So you know, if you are going to divide 16 by 2, you are going to get remainder as 0. So that is what it has displayed here. Let me expand it a little bit. So that is what you can see. It has printed remainder is 0. Then we have our quotient. So what the quotient is going to have? Quotient is going to have the value 8. This must be understandable. Where it is actually going to get confused about probably from this logic. So what we are doing, initially number is having value 16. In the next iteration, we actually want to run it from this value, right? Because even when we were doing it here, so what we were doing initially, we had some number. Next time we were dividing with this number. We were not dividing again with 17. Correct. So as to have this updated value, what we are doing, we are creating another, like we are updating our number. So now we are saying instead of 16, just have that value 8. Correct. Then we are saying you update your step. So it is going to update step to 2. Then it is saying whatever value you had in your binary, initially it was 0, right? Then it is saying you take your remainder, that is nothing but 0, and you multiply it with I. I is nothing but 1. So if you are going to do all those multiplications, what you will be getting? You are going to get 0. Correct? And then it is saying you update your I as well. So earlier I was 1, now it is saying you multiply it with 10. So you are going to get 10 value. Correct? Then we are going to have the second iteration. So in the second iteration, what we are doing, we are again doing the remainder and all. So now we have number as 8. That must be understandable, right? How we are getting number 8? That is coming from here. Now if you are going to calculate remainder and quotient for the same. So what is the remainder which you will get? 0. What is the quotient which you will get? That is going to be 4. Correct? So here it is going to print all those information, remainder 0 and quotient 4. Correct? Then we are going to update our number with quotient. So now in the next iteration, your number is going to have value 4. Your step is going to get updated. Now your step is going to have value 3. After that, what we are going to do? We have to calculate a binary number. So the previous binary number, even after doing the calculation, it remained 0. So here we are going to have 0 only, plus what is the remainder which you have? 0. What is the iterator? That we multiplied and updated to 10, right? So that is how we are going to take that as 10. So this one is going to return us value 0. And then we have to update our I. So whatever value of I you have multiplied by 10. So you are going to have I as 100. Correct? Now we are going to have our third iteration. So in the third iteration, what is going to happen? We have to check it for number. Your number is nothing but 4. We updated it to 4 here, right? So that is what we are using there. After having this number as 4, what we have to do, first of all, you calculate your remainder. So remainder is going to be 0. Then you have your quotient. Quotient is going to be nothing but 2 when you are going to divide 4 by 2. That is what it has displayed here when you are dividing 4 by 2, remainder 0 and quotient 2. Correct? Then you come here. It is saying now you update your number with the value of quotient. So now you are making your number as 2. Then update your step. So now your step is going to be 4. Then you have to update your binary number. So what is the previous binary number which we got? 0. Plus what is the remainder which you got? 0. Multiplied it by I. That was 100. Right? Again it is going to become 0. And your I. Whatever the value of I was there, you have to multiply it by 100. By 10. So I was 100. You are multiplying it by 10. So your I is going to become 1000. Correct? Now we have to see our fourth iteration. And you know for how long we are going to do that these iterations unless your number is becoming equal to 0. Currently number is 2. Probably in the next iteration we will have to terminate. Okay. So what is the remainder which we are going to get with 2? Your remainder is actually going to be 0. Then we have to find out our quotient. So what is going to be the quotient for the same? It is going to be 1. Then this is going to print 2 divided by 2, remainder 0 and quotient 1. After that, what we will have to do, you have to update your number. So now your number is going to have value 1. Then your step is going to get updated. So now your step is going to have value 5. Then you have to find out your binary number. So that is going to be previous value plus your remainder, that is 0, multiplied by I. I was 1000, right? So from this you are getting 0. And then you have to calculate your I. I is going to be 1000 into 10, 10,000, correct? So this is what your value of I is going to be there. Then we have our sixth iteration. Because your number is still not equal to 0. So here your number is 1. Then you have to find out remainder from the same. So remainder is going to be 0. You have to find out quotient. So your quotient is going to be 0 in this case. Correct? Then you have to print a message that is going to print step 5, 1 divided by 2, remainder is going to be 1 and quotient is going to be 0. Right? Then you have to find out your binary number. That is going to be previous number plus you have to pick the remainder into the iterator value. This was the iterator value, right? So through this, you are getting this as the binary number. And you are going to update your iterator. So this is going to be the new iterator value. Now if you will observe, your while loop will terminate. Why? Because now your number is equal to 0. So we are not going to enter inside, we are going to terminate. And when we are going to terminate, you know, your while is actually ending here. So whatever statement you have after this while loop, that is going to get executed. So the next statement which we have is actually printing the binary number. So what the binary number which we have? This one, correct? So that is why it has printed 10,000 as the binary number. You can actually try it out with another set of inputs and this is what you are going to get out of it. I hope with this explanation, this question must be clear to you and I must have helped you in making this question easier, right? So If you want, you can actually look into the code and you can give it a try. You will find it interesting. All right.